Okay. Students, can you see my screen now? Hello, am I audible?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So last lecture, students, we will have discussed about the reproductive system into the various animals. In that, we will have talk about the urochordates, then cephalochordates, cyclostomata, as well as we have discussed about the fish, right? So today we will go ahead, and we all know after the fish we have frog into the queue, that is the amphibian into the queue. So when I talk about the frog, so they are also dioecious. Can anyone tell me the meaning of the dioecious? Yes.
Sexes are separate.
Unisexual.
Sexes are separate. That means the distinct male and female are present. When I talk about the reproductive mode, so see, they also lack the an amniotic egg. So for they have the amniotic egg. So definitely they will be growing inside the water only. So for that particular reason, they are reproducing into the water. So what happens at the, I will discuss the reproductive process later, but let me tell you that at the time of the reproduction, that means they have their breeding cycles. So when they are having their breeding cycle, especially into the rainy season, so they develop a special call that is called as a frog call. So they attract their mate with their frog call, and after that they reproduce. And when I talk about their life cycle, so we all know that they are metamorphic animal. So metamorphic stages are their transition from the tadpole to the adult frog. Let us talk about the reproductive structures. First, we will be talking about the male. So, male they have testes, and when I talk about their testes, so they have pair of testes which is located near to their kidneys, and the testes produce sperm as well as these are connected to the kidney via the several efferent ducts. Can anyone tell me such type of testes are called as, or such type of genital systems are called as, which are connected with the kidney? Yes, we have learned it into the BSc.
Urinogenital.
Very good. The systems, when the two systems these are closely located or have the same opening, so such systems are called as a urinogenital system. So when we see the frog, so their testes that are connected to the kidney, so that means they also possesses the urinogenital system. All right, and their kidneys that is connected with the testes, and these connections are made by the several efferent ducts. Testes are embedded with the seminiferous tubules. We all know the unit key or the basic key of testes is the seminiferous tubules, where the spermatogenesis occur and interstitial cells secrete the hormone testosterone. Now, when I talk about the sperm glands, so first gland is the vasa efferentia, and this is about 8 to 10 ducts that transport sperm from the testis to kidney. Now, see here, point to be noted. Vasa efferentia that are taking the sperms from testis to the kidney. Noted? Then next is the bladder's canal, bladder's canal, a longitudinal canal that collects the sperm from the vasa efferentia, and from that is transferred to the urinogenital duct. Now, urinogenital ducts, common ducts are there for the urine as well as for the sperm passing. So that's why it will be called as a urinogenital duct. So this duct is very thin duct, transparent duct that will carry both urine as well as sperm and maybe not simultaneously. See, yesterday also when we were discussing about the animal, so urochordata, so I told you that at a time only one thing will happen. So in case of our male also, at a time, although we have in human also we have male common duct, but at the same time urine and sperm are not carried. Okay, so that will be carry urine and sperm at the different, at the time of the intercourse, the sperm will be passes, and at the time of the excretion urine will be passes. So this ducts opens into the cloaca. Now when I talk about the cloaca, so it is a common chamber. Now see, in the previous case of cat also will have seen that they are possessing the cloaca, and cloaca is a common chamber for the passage of the urine, sperm, as well as the intestinal wastage. Okay, so same here, fat bodies when I talk about. So see, special fat bodies are attached. Now see, in case of female also you will find. Actually, what has happened? We know that the frog they go for the long sleep. What is that long sleep is called as? Yes, frog long sleep. Come on, student, fast. We are MSc. That is hibernation, right? When they go for the hibernation, so that particular time that fat is the only source of the uh, you can say their body, because they are not eating, they are just going on a long sleep. So such cases, there are many vital organ of the frog which are supplemented with extra fat body, and this fat bodies helps in providing nourishment to the developing sperm. So let's quickly revise. First, we have seen they have a testis. Testes are pair of the testes and that are connected with the kidney through the many efferent ducts. Next thing we have seen, they have the vasa efferentia. Vasa efferentia is responsible for transporting the sperm to the testis, and sorry, from the testis to the kidney. Then there is canal, that is a long canal which will be collecting the sperm from the vasa efferentia, and later on from that particular part, मतलब जो kidney में location है, from that it is going to collect and it is going to transfer it into the urinogenital duct, which is a common duct to carry the urine as well as sperm to the cloaca. And cloaca is what? Cloaca is the opening. And thereafter there is an accessory special extra fat body is present which is attached to the testes and which is responsible for the nourishment and the development of the sperm. So any doubt in the male reproductive system? Yes, am I audible, student?
Yes, ma'am.
So any doubt in male reproductive system? When I'm sharing the screen, I cannot see you, so please be responsive when I'm asking you anything. Okay. Now, next,
Yes, ma'am.
female. Let us talk about the female reproductive system. Female reproductive system is comprised of the ovary, oviducts, and ovisac. So let us discuss the female reproductive system. Any doubt?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Now, when I talk about the frog ovaries, so they have a pair of lobulated ovaries. What do you mean by the lobulated? Yes,
There are lobules in the ovaries.
very good. There are many lobes, like structure, lobules are present into the ovary, which is located near the kidney. Now, see here, these ovaries are connected with the fold of peritoneum, and that is called as a mesovarium. So, both the ovaries they are connected, and the ovaries are responsible for the production of the egg through a process that is called as the oogenesis. Now, after that, the long convoluted tubule that is called as the oviduct, which is divided into the three parts: oviducal canal, glandular part, and the ovisac. So, this oviducal canal is ciliated and receive egg from the body cavity. And after that, there is a glandular part which secretes a gelatinous coating over the egg, and last part is the ovisac, which is the storage or the site of the egg before they are released into the cloaca. Similar to male, there is a common passage for urine as well as fecal matter and the egg. Fat body. Now here fat body will provide nourishment to the developing egg, especially during the hibernation. Now see here what is the difference between two. Earlier we have seen in the case of the male, they are having the connection between the ovary, sorry, between the testes as well as the kidney. So testes and kidney were connected with the efferent duct, as you can see here. है ना? Here you can see, but here you will find that ovaries, they will have their own you can say the canals, or you can say the system through which they are, there is a totally different passage for the urine as well as the egg. Can you see the difference between two? So although, but we cannot say that this is the separate system and this is not the urinogenital system. It is also the urinogenital system because they are having the common passage for the opening of the urine, egg and the fecal matter. Okay, so ovaries, once again we revise, they have the pair of lobulated ovaries which are located near the kidney, and they are connected, both the ovaries, they are connected with the fold of peritoneum, and this peritoneum is called as the mesovarium, and they produce egg through the oogenesis process. Oviducts, so they have the long convoluted oviduct which are divided into the three part. First is the oviducal canal, which is going to connect the, or it is a ciliated canal which are going to connect the egg from the body cavity, from the ovary. The egg will be received by the body cavity, and from that this oviducal canal is going to connect that particular egg, and after that there is a glandular part. The glandular part is actually a glands type part which is going to cover or wrap this egg into the gelatinous coating. The reason behind that, that gelatinous coating will support the egg to bind together like a grab bunch, and after that what will happen, apart from that, it will protect the egg from the external water shock, because at the end we have seen they have the external fertilization, right? So these eggs are going to release outside the body, and they are actually the oviparous, so they are going to lay the egg into the water. So for that particular reason, this gelatinous coating will support the development of the egg. This will provide nourishment, this will provide the safety, security from the predator. But in some case of the frog, it is been seen that the male, they are carrying midwife load, हमने पढ़ा है ना, SYBSC, do you remember? So some frog, they carry the egg, especially the male, they carry the egg on their back and prevent them from the predator. But in many other species, it is also been seen that they are simply releasing the egg and they are supporting them with some leaf or some substrate. So for that particular reason, this gelatinous covering plays a very important role for the development. And at the end, when the eggs are totally ready, so they are there is a ovisac, which is storage site for the egg before they are released into the cloaca. So same like male, they have the cloaca, which is a common passage, and they have the fat body which will provide. Now the courtship of the frogs is called as a ampluxus. Okay, so mating process is simple. Whenever they have the breeding season, they give a breeding call, and at that particular time, the when the female is also ready, that means she is having the proper eggs in her ovi sac, so that particular time the mating process occur, and at that time the male will clasp the female from the behind, but the fertilization is external, it is not internal. At the same time, the male and female will start releasing their gametes into the water, and after that outside the body fertilization will take place. Then eggs will be laid into the water and covered with a extra gelatinous layer which will protect them from the environmental threat and predators. Now see, when I talk about midwife toad and some other frog, they also carry. Now after that, the metamorphosis happen. Now we all know the complete metamorphosis seen into the frog. So they from the egg, larva, tadpole, and the adult will generate. So when we see their early stage of life, so they resemble to their ancestor phylogenetic ancestor like fish. So जो larvae होंगे, so you will find they have the gills, they have the tail like the fish. So similarly, मतलब when we compare them, so they are more like fish as compared to the frog. So this also proves the ancestor relationship or phylogenetic relationship between the frog and the fish. So this is all about the frog. Does anyone have any doubt? Yes.
No.
No, ma'am.
Shall we move ahead?
Yes.
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Okay. Now let us talk about the reproduction into the lizard or the reptilian. Now see, in case of the amphibian, we all have seen that amphibian, they are having the two habitat, right? But usually the habitat of the amphibian is nothing but the terrestrial habitat, but their need, that means they lack the amniotic eggs. So because of that, they have to go to the water for the reproduction purpose, and we have seen that their larvae or their younger stages, they do not have the proper respiratory system. The respiratory system is like fish, so definitely they have to be into the water for the purpose of the reproduction until the development. And after development, after complete metamorphosis, when they develop into the adult, that time only they can come to the land. But this limitation ends with the further modification, or you can say the evolution. So when I talk about the lizard or the reptiles, so they do not need to go to the water for the reproduction. So they are having the amniotic eggs. Now when I talk about the reproductive system, so they are dioecious with the distinct male and distinct female individual. Their reproduction mode is internal fertilization. That means the sperm will be directly transferred into the female's body, एंड दे कैन बी ओविपेरस मेच्योरिटी मैक्सिमम जितने भी हमने देखे हैं रेप्टाइल्स वो ओविपेरस ही होते हैं और ओवोविविपेरस होते हैं. मतलब सी समटाइम्स फॉर प्रिवेंट देयर एग फ्रॉम द प्रीडेटर, जैसे कि सेसी फ्लाई की केस में हमने देखा है, दे जस्ट कीप देयर और दे हाइड देयर एग इनसाइड देयर बॉडी. When I talk about the accessory structure, male bears the pair of testes and the hemipenis, that is a copulatory organ. Female have the pair of the ovaries and the ovida. Let us talk about the female reproductive. Just a minute, let me have some water. Now, when I talk about the female reproductive system, as I told that they have the ovary. So female lizard have two ovaries where the eggs are produced. The ovaries are located near the kidney. Same like frog, they will also have the process of the egg formation or the ovum formation, that is called as the oogenesis. And after oogenesis, the end product, that is the immature ova, that will be developed into the mature ova. Oviducts are tubular structure that will transport egg from the ovary to the cloaca. Now they are same like previous case. In case of frog also we have seen that their egg was their oviduct was divided. Here also the oviduct is divided into the infundibulum. We also means human also have, so that receives the ovulated egg which is been released. See, after the development in majority of the higher animal, the eggs are released into the body cavity, and from the body cavity, it is been collected by the oviduct and different part. We have seen the previous case, different name here, infundibulum, like human is there. Then after that, the next part of the oviduct is the magnum that secretes the albumin. Now see here, the reason behind that they are the amniotic egg and they are oviparous, so for that particular reason they required lots of nutrients to develop inside the egg, right? So for that reason they will be having the magnum part, which will be loading that particular egg with the excess of the albumin, so that the developing embryo will have the nourishment. And the last part is the stomach that will act the shell membrane, and the uterus form the shell around the egg. Now next is the cloaca. Cloaca is a common chamber into which the reproductive, urinary and the digestive tract open. During oviposition, egg pass through the cloaca to the outside environment. Now male reproductive system that consists of the testis, and then lizard, they have the two testes which are located internally near the kidney, and that testis produces the sperm and secrete male sex hormone, that is the male androgen. Let me tell you, they also produces the pheromones. The pheromones are the sharp smell, or the you can say the scents which are secreted by them, so that they can attract. Even in case of the amphibian salamanders also, it has been seen that they just add the pheromones into the air, so that whatever females are nearby, thus there are species located or species specific, matlab only and only that particular species female can only sense or respond to that particular pheromone. So that pheromones are so strong, so when their breeding cycle comes, so that time the male that will be having apparently more bright colors, and that pheromones, they will secrete that particular pheromones that will attract or call the female. Okay. And during the breeding season, their testes will enlarge, that will indicating the active sperm production. Epididymis and vas difference. Sperm produces into the testes are stored and matured into the epididymis, and the vas difference transport the mature sperm from the epididymis to the cloaca at the time of the copulation. Hemipenis, lizard possesses a pair of hemipenises which are reversibly copulatory organs and that are stored inside the body. Actually, this why this is called as hemipenis, because this is present inside the body, and at the time of the copulation, that will be coming out of the body. That's why it is called as a hemipenis, and they have the pair of penis. Okay, so that's why it is penises. During mating, one of the hemipenis is everted, inserted into the female cloaca to transfer the sperm. Just a minute, student. My screen was not shared. Was it shared or not? Okay. So, any doubt in this till now?
No, ma'am.
Do you want a quick revision, or we can go ahead with the aids?
Ma'am,